Okay. These people done lost their damn minds. There's an assault on democracy happening all over the state and all over the country. So, what is the assault? Let's really look at what's happening. You have Republican legislatures all throughout state governments in the United States of America passing laws that would make it impossible for people to early vote, absentee vote, have convenience in voting. Ground zero for these ridiculous and insane laws is House Bill 531 in the state of Georgia. Let me explain to you how insane this bill is. This bill would literally make it illegal for you to give someone a drink of water while standing in line. I kid you not. Look at the bill. It is a 66-page bill, just passed the House, which means the vast majority of Republicans voted for it. It's going to the Senate, likely to pass the Senate, and some version of it will be signed into law. This 66-page bill makes it illegal for you to walk up to someone and give mama them a bottle of water. It makes it a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail with a healthy fine or 1 year probation. Illegal, making it illegal to hand someone water. The bill goes even deeper than that. It also makes it illegal for you to hand someone a snack if they're standing in line waiting to vote. Now, why is this? Why is the state of Georgia Republicans passing bills like this? And remember, there are versions of these bills everywhere. The state of Georgia is just ground zero. It is your testing ground. The reason is because during the last election cycle, many commercials, many nonprofits, they were saying, listen, we know it's a hassle because of COVID, but if you come out and participate, if you show up, not only can you change this country, but you can also be convenienced by the fact that we'll have chairs, we'll make sure you have water, we'll make sure that older individuals can come out and sit down and drink some water and have a snack because we want you to vote. We want you to participate. So what did the state of Georgia do? What did Republican lawmakers do? They have now crafted a bill, passed the bill out of the House to make that against the freaking law, punishable by actual jail time, meaning it will be a misdemeanor on the books. But they don't stop there. Here's what else the bill does. This bill that has already passed the House in Georgia, 531, House Bill 531, says, well, we want to also limit your ability to early vote. So they are restricting in this bill your ability to early vote, taking away days from counties that usually will make this decision, taking away those days from counties, taking away your ability in counties also to provide weekend voting. They're restricting weekend voting. Now, we already know the Black church took advantage of weekend voting because they said, hey, since we already have a captive audience on the weekend, we're going to make sure that our people are participating in the election. Great idea. Now that Black folks, young people, Democrats, progressives, and others have figured out the methodology of voting and utilizing these conveniences in our democracy, there's a problem. They must change the law. Even the Republicans who are submitting these changes of the law, they said during the last election that the state of Georgia was just fine, that there was no massive voter fraud. So why is it that Republicans who are on record saying there was no massive voter fraud, that our election integrity is intact, why are they changing the laws based on lies? This is literally legislating on lies. And it doesn't stop there. These individuals are seeking to limit the time frame that a person has to actually participate in the election. And you remember those drop boxes that county said we'll make sure that there are drop box locations? That would now be against the law up to a certain number of drop boxes, severely limiting, once again, the county's ability to make these decisions. So hypocritical. I thought Republicans were for government control, meaning small government, localized government. They are for government control until they're not, right? Let's go back to what this is about. This is Jim Crowism on steroids. That is all. What other freedom, what other right do you have where you must present ID in order to participate? Just think about this, because years ago, they did this ultimate trick where they made us believe, or some of us believe, that you needed an ID in order to vote to secure the election. Well, there was no evidence of voter fraud because of not having an ID. We had a lot of fights against that ridiculous rule, but our parents didn't have to use an ID to vote. Your grandparents didn't have to use an ID to vote. This generation does. So let's talk about how insane that is, okay? You have a lot of rights in this country. You have the freedom of speech, the freedom to assemble, you have the freedom of press, you have the religious expression freedom. You have all of these rights. Which one of those rights must you present an ID to exercise? None, not one of them. All of those rights you can actually exercise without presenting an ID. Hell, you don't even have to present an ID to buy a gun from a private gun seller in this country. But you must present an ID in order to exercise the right of vote, the right to vote. Listen, I'm not boo-boo the fool. I'm telling everyone here, make sure you keep a watch on what's happening in your state government, because Republican lawmakers are waging a war on our very democracy. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Rashad_Richey. Until then.